inside the Niger Delta.
On February 14, 2020, Honorable Henry Seriake Dickson will relinquish power as the fourth democratically elected governor in Bayelsa State. Governor Seriake Dickson goes down in history as the first chief executive to have served out 2 terms of 4 years in the oil-rich state since Nigeria's return to democratic regime in 1999. What else will Governor Seriake Dickson be remembered for, you might ask? In this report, correspondent Tekena Amilfore chronicles some of the legacies of Ofruma Pepe, as is widely known and referred to in Bayelsa politics.
Until his rise to a position of political prominence in Bayelsa State, Honorable Henry Seriake Dickson, a native of Tororua in Sagbama local government area, was a police officer who later took to law practice. After serving as Attorney General of the state under the administration of President Goodluck Jonathan, he was in April 27 elected to the National Assembly to represent Sagbama Ekeremo Federal Constituency. In April 2011, he was re-elected for a second term as federal legislator, but later succumbed to a higher calling in public service. After securing a landslide victory at the November 2011 governorship elections, in which he got an estimated 90% of the people's votes, Honorable Seriake Dickson was on February 14, 2012, inaugurated as the fourth democratically elected governor of Bayelsa State. On assumption of office, Seriake Dickson immediately swung into action to restore the dignity of Bayelsans with the implementation of several projects initiated by his restoration government. By April 2018, the Dickson administration had initiated over 104 projects, most of which have been completed or nearing completion. Some of the projects were executed to improve on existing infrastructure in education, health, social engineering, and capital investment. At the expiration of his tenancy of Creek Haven, Governor Dickson has to his credit the commencement of work on the Agge Deep Seaport project and the Bayelsa International Airport, which is almost ready for use by air travelers within and outside Bayelsa State. In addition to his achievements in project execution, Governor Dickson has championed the Niger Delta struggle to the admiration of stakeholders in the region. As chairman of the South-South Governors Forum, the Bayelsa State Chief Executive has been able to galvanize other governors to fight for full payments of 13% derivation funds accruable to Nigeria's oil-producing states in accordance to Section 162 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. In October 2018, the Supreme Court of Nigeria found merit in the Governor Dickson-inspired legal action when it ordered the federal government to adjust its oil proceeds formula to comply with provisions of the Constitution. In the month of March this year, the countryman governor set up the Bayelsa State Environmental Degradation Commission of Inquiry to determine the extent of ecological devastation attendant on the activities of oil companies, with a view to holding them accountable for their action. After several months of investigation, the commission led by the Archbishop of York, Dr. John Sentamu, few weeks back submitted its preliminary report indicating that the activities of the oil companies amounted to genocide in the communities. When the final report is eventually launched in London early next year, Governor Dickson intends to prick the conscience of the global community to consider the urgent need for environmental justice in Bayelsa State and, by extension, the entire Niger Delta region. It is on record that the outgoing governor of Bayelsa State, a staunch advocate of fiscal federalism and social engineering in Nigeria, has had cause to rise in defense of his people at critical moments in their perceived political marginalization by contending political forces. It will be recalled that during the trial of immediate past Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoge, Governor Dickson was able to galvanize his brother governors to speak up against perceived injustice against one of their own. Before he joined partisan politics several years ago, the fine gentleman endowed with the power of oration was actively involved in a struggle for the emancipation of the Ijaw ethnic nationality. Soon after he assumed office as governor, Seriake Dickson decided to broaden the scope of his political activism to include the rest of the Niger Delta, which makes him perhaps the strongest political voice in the region. By an act of providence, the outgoing governor of Bayelsa State is the right political activist to step into the shoes of a retiring Edwin Clark as the most respected voice in Nigeria's beleaguered oil-rich region. With less than 3 months to the end of his eventful reign as two-term governor of Bayelsa State, Honorable Seriake Dickson is already a lame duck in the political affairs of the self-styled glory of all lands. While his exit from the seat of power will certainly strip him of an unprecedented political influence he enjoyed before this time, Governor Dickson has the option to reinvent himself politically by staying the course as the mouthpiece of the Niger Delta region. This would require him to sink his differences with all estranged political allies and assume the status of a statesman in the Niger Delta region. Without a shadow of doubt, Governor Henry Seriake Dickson has sufficiently demonstrated his abiding faith in the Niger Delta cause and is generally looked upon as a leading light in a struggle in need of more volunteers.
Inside the Niger Delta.